Americans' debt hit a record high. We might be able to tap into that. Yeah, let's hit Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer because they was trying to encourage the people not to vote for what was going on. So I'm gonna deep dive into that. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's rock.
Senator from Vermont.
I understand that the way the process has been developed, it is impossible to delay the votes that are going to take place. And if that were not the case, that is certainly what I would do, because I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today. Everybody in America knows that our current healthcare system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is by far the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and the only healthcare system of any major country that does not guarantee healthcare to all people as a human right, covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight—
Let me ask y'all a question. Do y'all think, and this is just a question, do y'all think that healthcare should be a human right? Just a question. Just want to get a consensus. Should healthcare be a human right? And I think that also one of the reasons that the healthcare system is broken is honestly because of illegal migrants and people that wasn't supposed to have it. Let's continue. While he talk about this, just think about it.
What this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this country, for certain groups of people, it will be a tripling and a quadrupling of their premiums. There are people who will now be paying 50% of their limited incomes for health care. Does anybody in the world think that makes sense? And if this resolution is passed tonight, we are on a pathway to throw 15 million Americans off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. 15 million. Our job is to create universal health care, guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child, not throw 15 million people off the health care they have, low income and working class people.
Nah, I don't think that your job, I didn't know that Congress's job was to create universal health care for everybody. Honestly, they want it to be like Canada. I don't know if y'all familiar with Canada and Canada's system, but Canada is fucked up, bro. Canada is messed up. I don't know if y'all are familiar, but Canada is messed up. It is absolutely broken as far as their free healthcare. It's not. It's subsidized by taxpayers. Nobody has primary care physicians. The wait rooms is crazy. They don't get preventative care, and they getting taxed out of their eyeballs. They are getting destroyed out of their eyeballs, and they have some of the highest taxes that I've ever seen in my entire life. Most people that I know that is in Canada, they come to the United States of America or they go down to Mexico for a cheaper price. Listen, let me tell you something. The problem with healthcare, in my opinion, in this country, because I believe that we shouldn't just continue to throw money at it, I think that we need to fix it. The problem with healthcare in this country is that we charge too much for everything and we subsidize everything. Everything is charged a lot of money and everything is subsidized. I'll give you an example. A lot of people that live closer to the border, closer to the southern border, they go over into Mexico and buy the same prescription that we get charged a ton of money over here inside of the United States of America. Now that I'm paying for my own because I don't have a corporate position, it's so funny because the same thing that Rita would maybe get that we would have to pay a copay for or whatever, it's actually cheaper to pay for it out of pocket. When people go and get a whole screening, all of this type of stuff, and they go over to Turkey, people go to Thailand and Turkey. See, people think that Thailand is a place for sex tourism. Yes, for dudes that can't get pussy here in the United States of America and that they want to just pay a ladyboy to come and lick their butt. Thailand is also similar to Turkey in that you can go and get literally a full screening. You can spend a whole day to get tested, and it will tell you every single thing that is wrong with your body, and they can actually do all of the different machines and all of this stuff. Honest to God. People go to Turkey to get the same procedures that they get over here, except we're charged an egregious amount of money. People go down to Mexico to get the same drugs that is not overly regulated here in the United States of America, and then they come back over here in the United States of America. I'm being honest with you. We pay for hospital care. When you go into the hospital, when you get a bill, go and look at the bill, whether you got insurance or whether you not got insurance. When you go to the hospital, go and look at the bill. We don't spend enough time on preventative care. We require for our healthcare providers to pay for same sex fucking sex changes and shit. It's so much bloat, so much price gouging on prescription drugs, less competition so that they can continue to run up the prices. Healthcare providers, hospitals, they charge us for when people don't go to the hospital and they don't pay their bills. And so we're paying for infrastructure costs. We're paying for doctors. We're paying for anesthesiologists. We're paying for all of this stuff. And that is what charges our healthcare companies, which then raises our premiums. And that's why we got to pay so much per month, even if we never even use the service. But see, Congress, they don't want to tackle the real problems. You know why? Because big pharmaceutical companies are actually continuing to fund some of their campaigns. So instead of them saying, listen, we really need to start tackling the price gouging and the issues and the real problems that's happening inside the United States of America, instead of them saying that, they say we need to extend Obamacare tax credits for people so that their premiums or that they don't lose health care coverage. We don't want to solve for the real problems here in the United States of America. We want to continue to act like it's all about health care credits. What? So you don't want to tackle big pharma? You don't want to tackle the addiction and the opioid crisis? You don't want to tackle preventative care? You don't want to get us healthier? You don't want to change what's in our food? They're fighting to change what's in our food. We can't, when we eat this shit over here in the United States of America, it's different than what we eat over there in Japan. But Japan don't have the same type of system that we have, but they live to be fucking 105 years old in good health. The problems is not the Obamacare. Obamacare actually raised the cost of healthcare. The real problem is all of the other things, the core issues of what is wrong, of what we then have inside of the United States of America. They're selling us the problem and then also selling us the solution at the same time. They double dipping. They don't want to fix what's in our food. They don't want to do preventative care. They don't really want to solve for cancer, even though we didn't literally probably threw trillions of dollars at cancer research. We keep on doing these goddamn walks and looking at these ribbons and turning everything pink at the NFL. But we don't really want to solve for the problem. We don't want to solve for the problem. We don't want to really lower it. We don't want to make things and fix it for real in real life. You know why? Because people have a financial interest to keep things the way that it is. So they'd rather have us as taxpayers continue to subsidize people's lifestyle in the name of universal health care for everybody instead of actually having a real conversation of what's wrong in our culture. And the people in Congress know, because they being funded by the same people on both sides that's making money from the taxpayers continuing to subsidize Obamacare. But I digress. I digress. They are shutting, they had the government shut down to basically fight for big pharma and continue to fight for the people that's poisoning us. That's what the real problem is. That's what the real problem is. We need to tear this whole shit down. So much of this in our lives and in our culture need to be torn down, but nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Nobody wants to actually have a real conversation. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Nobody. We don't want to do things that's best for the next generation. We don't care. We are selfish. We are the most selfish. People in previous generations was willing to die for us. Now, I understand also that we don't want to make that adjustment because we don't appreciate it either, because we don't appreciate what the people did in yesteryear. People died for our right to vote, and we sit there and be like, nigga, I don't give a fuck about that. We just be looking stupid. We owe a debt to the next generation that we won't pass on because the boomers and the Xers fucked up, right? So we need to make sure that we do it and really get uncomfortable, but we not going to do that because we know that it's going to make us too inconvenienced, and we're the inconvenience we the convenience generation. We like all shit easy. We don't want to do nothing hard. We don't want to do nothing hard. We don't want to actually tackle the systems. The system isn't systematic oppression. The system is economic oppression because you don't understand the plays. You don't understand how money works. And so you can't divest yourself from it. You just automatically believe that you need to have this healthcare coverage. My premiums. Have you ever asked yourself what you need this for? Because we don't want to sit and think. By default, we always felt like we had to have this. Man, I look at all of the paychecks of all of the healthcare coverage that I done paid for my entire life, from the time that I was 18 years old, all the way up until being in my 40s. Man, do you know how much my job was taking money out of our accounts? Imagine a world, think about this for a second. Imagine a world where we could do what we wanted to do with our own money. Imagine they gave us all of the money of our checks and said, listen, figure it out. No handouts, no nothing. Figure it the fuck out. Whatever you work for, you keep. We're going to charge a minimum amount of taxes. We also going to make sure that we charge tariffs on being, doing business with the United States of America. The things that we need to charge on taxes is only for public safety, infrastructure, and to give us the guardrails so that we'll have a basic framework of what a government is supposed to be. We need to have some level of regulation. We have to have people meet certain building codes and all of this stuff, but you keep all of your own fucking money. They would dig too much into everybody else's pockets. It would dig too much into people's pockets. Man, it's entire companies that's built off of this shit. They're not letting that fail. It's entire companies that's built off of this. They're not letting that fail. We need Big Brother to fix us. Hey, give us what we supposed to have. Give us this Ponzi scheme that we call Social Security. I'm paying for the next nigga that's old now. And now I got to hope that somebody pay for it when I get old so that I can get what I paid into for the next dude.
And my friends, know what you are voting on. Studies are out there that when you throw 15 million people off of health care, some 50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every single year. Anyone think that's funny? Something to laugh at? Something to just go past? I don't. 50,000 Americans die unnecessarily. Now, I know as part of this resolution that the majority leader is going to say, well, Democrats can put together their own bill, and it'll come to the floor here in the Senate for a vote. As everybody here knows, that is a totally meaningless
Yeah, I got you, Bernie. Shout out to you. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Feel the burn, y'all. Feel the burn.